So today I have a long run workout. We're going to use the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. It's a plated super trainer. So I'm doing 11 miles. 3 are going to be easy warm-up miles. Then we're going to do 8 at around our marathon goal pace. So this new series, the goal is going to be whatever run I'm doing on a given day, I'm going to try and wear a shoe that I would pull for myself in real life. Do my run, I'll show you my splits, how things went, I'll tell you any really big noticeable things, but I don't want to get really caught up in the weeds. I want to talk about like how the shoe literally performed. So I'm going to go do my run. I'm not going to film any of that. We're going to go ahead and just talk about the shoe when I get back and how it performed. It should make this a little bit faster video for you to digest. I'll talk about the goods, the bads, and anything noteworthy for you. So you know if you should maybe pick up a shoe or maybe not. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get my run started and we'll be back in a minute. Ugh. Well, that was a pretty tough workout. I guess I can do this on the watch. We'll come over here. Just finished up and we can finish workout. That was pretty hard. In all the way down. It's been a minute since I've run in these. Hyperion Max. Click. Ended at 11.58 miles, hour 34 minutes for 8:08 pace. Pretty high training load. Efficiency's great, all that. I want to come down to laps. Spent most of the time zone 2, zone 3. That makes sense. That's kind of what we would expect to see. Average heart rate 167. I'm actually stoked with that. Down. So laps. The first 3 miles were warm up, 8:53 pace. And then the next 8 miles were at 7:49. So that gives you an idea of what this workout looked like for me. Pretty high training load, pretty difficult in general. But what you guys care about is how the shoe performed. So we are dripping off the hat. By the way, the hat did so well. I know I keep talking about how excited I am for the Ontos hats to actually get here, but this run, this is the first day we've been pretty hot. It's like 75 or so outside, which in the mountains of North Carolina is in fact pretty warm for us. Full sun, and the hat did so good. Was able to pour water on it. Felt like it was venting super well. Get on the wait list if you want to, or check out any of the other Ontos running stuff that we've got. You can go to ontosrunning.com and it's all there. But for the shoe, that is my only real qualm. I actually love how the upper feels, but I felt a little loose, especially at the beginning of the run, where it felt like I was kind of getting some heel slippage, even with a runner's loop on here. Other than that, that was one of my only real problems. It did feel like I was really high off the ground, so when I was cornering, going around turns, I don't feel like I usually worry too much about that, but I was actually kind of feeling it. So I slowed down a little bit around turns. When I did the Hyperion Max 3 versus the Mega Blast video, I did mention it felt like there was some medial instability with this shoe, but I didn't really feel that today. It actually felt like it came up and met my arch pretty nicely. No real problems on that, like the medial stability kind of issues. It didn't feel like it was lacking any sort of medial stability, which is kind of impressive because this is a pretty decent sized cutout to save some weight. Grip was fine. You can see the outsole here. Actually, I'll give you a nice little close up. The outsole here, pretty good. We've got, 30-ish miles on these and they're feeling good. Toe box isn't super wide, but I don't have a super wide foot, so that worked out really well for me. Stayed really nice and cool. So again, relatively warm out today. And you can see with this toe box here, they vented it pretty dang well. It comes across the sides, comes across the other side here where you can actually almost see through this. So pretty good on the staying cool with the foot front. Now I did like this plate, so you can see there's a pretty good bit of pop back when you get that plate flexing, and the rocker geometry, you can see this is pretty well towed up. I feel like I'm doing a better job of utilizing that rocker with everything I'm wearing that has the rocker, and I'm finding I really like it. As I was able to stay mindful of it, I was able to hit pretty reasonably like mid-foot, and then really think about taking the shoe all the way through that rocker. And the geometry on it was actually really nice. I had to be mindful to do it. So, you know, the stack height stability thing was one of the few drawbacks that I had. Didn't feel overly heavy, even though the shoe is relatively heavy. I mean, this category of like super trainer is just kind of living in that heavier space. Like the Skyward X, definitely a heavier shoe, stuff like that. It didn't feel overly heavy though, which I do appreciate. The DNA Gold Foam up here felt like it was pretty responsive. You know, I wasn't getting super fast, but being sub 8 for me means I'm working at least relatively hard. And then the other thing that I actually didn't notice, which is a good thing, is I didn't feel like I was hitting a huge wall of fatigue as I was spending time at marathon pace. You saw my heart rate. I'm using the external heart rate monitor from Coro, so I feel like that's probably pretty accurate for the heart rate. And that's lower than I would have expected for that level of effort with the heat we've got today. So that's super exciting. I think that's some pretty nice props to the Hyperion Max 3 there. So my take overall for the shoe, how it did for a long run for me running around 8-minute pace, I thought it did a really good job. It felt protective. Felt like it was doing everything that I'm asking of it. Not a whole lot more. It's not like I was over the moon excited about it, but man, if this was just dropped in the closet and it was like, yep, this is what you're doing your long runs in now, I don't think I'd have any ill feelings towards that whatsoever. I am excited to get more of this style of review in where I do like a Hoka Skyward X is actually a shoe that would compete against this, but I know I would pull for that on an easy run day that is like, oh, I want an easy run and I want it to feel really easy. Something like the Skyward X would do good there. Then I can talk about it for how it works as an easy day shoe versus a long run workout shoe. So I'm just going to keep doing different runs as one does as they train, and trying to use more shoes in different ways that still make sense, but give you guys more insight on a daily basis of what I'm wearing, how it does, goods, bads, anything like that. So if you're someone that heel slips a bunch, maybe not the first pull just because of the sock upper, but if you like a nice fitted sock-like upper and you don't need a bunch of width here, I think this is a pretty solid shoe. If you've got any questions on fit, feel, anything else, drop them in the comments. More than happy to help out, and I'm excited to get a couple more of these videos out each week so you guys can have a better sense of what's all out there and how it works for your different kinds of runs. With that said, do something good for your body. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.